Kurt Ritchie, you were shown these amazing K-pop songs, and you said that you moderately like them. Do you have anything to say for yourself? No, you can't speak. Well, I think it's pretty clear that you're guilty of this crime. But while we determine the severity of your sentence, this court will now take a 15-minute recess.
Wow! Recess, baby! Finally! I may have peed in my pants.
Alright, so you probably weren't thinking of that kind of recess. But hey, I'm not the one to judge, because it really depends on the time and place that you are watching this video. One thing that I'm not afraid to admit is that when I was a kid, I was pretty weird. I mean, I still am, but every once in a while, I will reflect on my childhood and be like, wow, I can't believe I did that. But to be fair, I mean, come on. We've all done something weird, so it's okay. And if you haven't, then you're the weird one. Now, recess, it's freaking amazing. 15 to 30 minutes of freedom to do whatever our little kid hearts desired, as long as it's appropriate according to our supervisors, the great guardians of the playground. Honestly, I feel bad for those people that didn't have recess when growing up. They were really missing out. As kids, we need that free time. Bunch of little balls of energy just cooped up in a classroom for more than 45 minutes. Just spells disaster. I remember every day in class, I just couldn't sit still. I would always be looking up at the clock thinking, all right, 15 more minutes of this torture and I'll be free. Maybe if I stare long enough at the clock, it will go faster. Power of friendship, let's go. Come to think of it, that might be one of the reasons my teachers thought I had ADHD. But that's not important. Let's get back to what's really important here. So recess. I'm not going to be talking about that normie stupid stuff like playing sports and going on a swing, all of which I did. But, no. I'm going to be talking about all the weird stuff. The fun stuff. One thing I remember doing a lot during most of my recess time was catching insects and other creepy crawlies. From kindergarten to around 3rd grade, I think, every recess period, me and some other friends would just dig up a bunch of worms and we would try to see who could catch the most and the biggest worms. When one of us did catch a big one, we would all just marvel at it and take turns holding it. But what I remember vividly was that when recess was over, we would put the worms back in the big hole we dug, and each time, before I washed my hands, I would smell my worm-scented hands. Gross to some of you, yeah, but hear me out. I really like fish and even the smell of fish, and I mean not rotting fish in particular, but for some reason worms smell like fish. So every time I smelled my hands, it smelled like fish, which I liked. Other times I remember catching ladybugs. There was this one time of the year, like spring, I think, and there was just a bunch of ladybugs everywhere. I would catch them and they would secrete this gross orange stuff on my hands. But aside from catching them, as little kids that didn't know any better, we would treat those ladybugs as if they were sacred, majestic beasts that demanded our respect. So whenever we accidentally stepped on them, we would all just take a moment of sadness to mourn for the loss and hope that we weren't cursed. I did avoid catching those black beetles though, because they secreted this other stuff and it makes your hands smell really bad. So I stay clear of those beetles these days. I also caught a bunch of those pill bugs, or some might say roly-poly. Haha, K-pop reference. Did any of you guys try catch lizards? Because I remember that was like the epitome of things to catch during recess, along with praying mantises, grasshoppers, yeah. But lizards, they were just too fast for us most of the time. But every now and then, I would be quick enough to catch one, but then each time I did manage to catch a lizard, it would just bite me. So that's why I have a mark on my hand today. It's still a great story to tell people, and they totally believe me. You see this scar? I got it from wrestling with this gigantic monster lizard thingy that had rabies, and I almost died. True story, bro. And there was also this one time that I tried catching those big red fire ants, but later I found out that they can sting or bite. Or both. So, lesson to take from this is that these creatures don't like being picked up by grubby little kids. Oh, actually, before I move on, I just thought of something not too related, so it's gonna be a bit of a tangent. But there was this one time during recess, and there was a snake on the field, and it's pretty rare for a snake to appear at school, by the way. So when it did, everyone wanted to see it. I don't really remember what kind of snake it was. All I remember is that it looked a lot like the rubber rattlesnake toy that I had, just more real. The supervisor shows up on the scene with a shovel and a trash bag, and you can probably start imagining where this is going. He didn't let me catch it, obviously. He told everyone that he was not going to hurt the snake, but then he just, well, let's just say, I think he was lying. Anyway, tangents over. Enough about catching things. Point is, don't try picking up weird creatures. It can be dangerous. Unless you're Coyote Peterson or something. So for this next one, I don't remember the exact reason for doing this. It might have been because there was a week dedicated to learning about health and fitness. But every recess period, me and a bunch of kids would just run laps around the playground. And nothing else. That's literally all we did the entire recess period. But I can say that I was pretty fit during that time though. I think recess is just a great way to express one's creativity and imagination. The games we played when we were kids just felt like scenes from a movie, and we were the main stars. Sticks became swords, we had superpowers, we embodied other beings. For example, we played this game that involved monsters and a ship. The jungle gym that we played on was considered the ship, and the ground was considered like lava where the monsters could lurk. The goal of the monsters was to drag others on the ship onto the ground, thus they become a monster themselves. And the people on the ship, they're just trying to survive. And I think they can cure a monster with a drug? I mean, antidote? For some reason though, I don't know why, I don't know how this relates to monsters or a ship, but I was a velociraptor named Spike? But I mean, at that age, I embraced every role that I was given. So when playing, I would picture movie scenes like Jurassic Park and have epic music playing in my head. It was no longer a game to me. If I was a raptor, I was the best raptor I could be. I sure hope I didn't bite anyone. But man, recess had such great memories. I miss it. And naps. I'm not sure what kids are playing these days. It makes me feel old just thinking about it. I mean, I don't even get recess anymore. All I do is sit in lectures all day, shaving like 10,000 years off my life from sitting too long. So, in conclusion, growing up sucks because there's no recess and no weird things to do. And that's why you guys should stay young. Did you do any weird things during recess? Well then tell me in the comments below so that way I could judge you. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna judge you. Honestly, if you don't do weird things during recess, well then you're missing out, in my opinion. But yeah, so these were the things that I did during recess that I can remember that weren't too far repressed in my memory. I know, these upload times are very inconsistent. I'm very sorry about that, and I'm very grateful for your guys' patience. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, then be sure to subscribe for future uploads. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go listen to that new BTS album that came out today. Today's Friday, the day I'm recording the end card, which you guys are probably going to be watching this on Sunday, which is the time that I scheduled for this video to come out. And so, yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, as BTS would say, love yourself. Also stay young.